Okay, hello everyone. So last time Liam explained dictionaries, which they're pretty cool. You can store groups of data in them. For example, here we have this Clifford dictionary, and we can store his name, his color, and his type. And of course, we can use functions to display this information right here in a very neat way. But there's actually a way clearer way to do this. For example, we can just delete this. I'm going to recreate it using something much more efficient. So, oops, wow, I clicked the wrong thing. We can use something called classes. Now, to declare a class, we just say class, and then the name of the class. I'm going to call this class animal, and we can give it attributes. For example, we can have this name attribute. We can set it to Clifford like this, just like before. Like this. This is a simple class. Now, what is a class? A class is basically like the dictionary that Liam explained last time, but they are much more flexible and they can have way more applications. So, for example, we have this animal class. To use it, we actually have to create an instance of that class. So basically what that means is we have to assign it to a variable. We can create this variable, we can call it Clifford object, like this, and we can set it to the instance of this class, like this. So now this code should run without any errors, but we don't see any output. To test that it's actually working, we can just print out its name, like this. And to access attributes from this class, we just use something called dot notation, like this. And then we use this dot right here, and then the attribute we want to access, like name. And now, when we run this, it will print the name of this class. Very cool. So, what else can classes do? Of course, we could just keep stacking things in here, but that's not very ideal, especially since we now have this line over here, which it's pretty useless. So, let's actually rewrite this to a more organized way. First, we need something called a constructor. Now, what a constructor is, it's basically a function that runs when we create this class. So, if I define a constructor like this, this is how you define a constructor. It's just like you would define a normal function. You just do def and then underscore init underscore, and then you have to pass in this self argument here, just so it works. Now, this way, this code will run when, right here, when we create the instance of the class. So we can just test this right here, print Clifford. And this is already way more organized, because now we don't have to worry about putting things right here. But let's actually make it better. We can actually keep adding functions inside classes, which are called methods, like this. We can just have this. We can have just a define right here to create to define a method, and we can call this print age, and we can do self, and maybe let's just accept a number here just for testing, and now we can print n, just like this, just a simple test. So if we want to use this method and call it like this, we can just do Clifford object dot print age, and then of course we have to pass in n, which we can say 10, and boom, it's going to do 10 right here. But of course, it's not ideal to have all these variables, all these values just floating around. We want to put them in variables, so we can just remove these here, and we can put them in something called global variables inside this class. So to do this, we just do self dot and the name of the variable. So for example, we can have name, and we can set this to Clifford, or actually we can just set it to an argument in here. We can just do name, and then it's going to take this argument and it's going to set it like as an attribute of this class. So self.name equals name, and then print age. We also need an age attribute like this. Boom. And now we can just remove this test from the print age method and just print self.age. And now it works without having to input anything. Actually, it doesn't. And why it doesn't is because this constructor is called right here. So if we want to pass in the name of the age into global variables, we actually need to pass them when we declare the instance of the class. So you can just pass them in right here. And boom, yeah, it prints out the age perfectly. We can actually add a few more functions in here, like print name, print self.name. Okay, great. We have a working class, which it's actually pretty well. This is a pretty well-made class. But what if we want to extend this kind of class? What if we want this class, these attributes from this class, to apply to multiple classes? For example, what if we want dog class? If we want the dog class to have all these base attributes, we could technically just copy and paste that, but that is pretty wasteful of storage space, and it's very inefficient. So instead of doing that, we can actually do something called inheritance, and that way we can take all of these attributes and put them in this class. So to inherit from another class, we just use parentheses right here, and with the name of the other class, like this. And now this will inherit all of this. Now we still actually have to make a constructor for this, and that takes name and the age right here, and does and assigns the global variables. But we have these methods right here that are built in, and I'll tell you what I mean in a second. But for now, let's just fill this in. Okay. So, for example, we can use this again. We just delete this, and let's say we want to have a dog class. A dog object. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah. Let's say we want a dog object. Let's call him Roger. Let's set the instance of the class of a dog class, and let's pass in the name and the age. We can have him 15-year-old. Okay, this should run. Okay, perfect. And now here is where the magic. Here's where we can see the magic. So if we want to call one of these inherited classes, inherited methods from right here, we just do Roger object dot print age, and boom, it works perfectly, as if this class had everything in here. You get how this works? So basically, it takes all of this as a template class, and then this class inherits all of these all of this class's behavior. And this can be used for lots of things. For example, if we want to make like an eat method, like here. Like this, for example. We can do that. We can change this, and all of our classes that inherit from this instantly have this new ability that we can eat them. Boom. Perfect. And we can create this as many times as we want. For example, if we want a human class that it also inherits from animal, and it has this, the same constructor. We can do this, and instantly we can create this human. Let's call him Andre. We can set him to human, set the name, and the age, and instantly we can use all of these methods with this class, with this object. And this is insanely powerful because it lets us create much more modular code and in a much more efficient way. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, you can use this for lots and lots of things. This was our last video covering Python like syntax features, because this is basically all there is to know about Python. It's a very simplistic language, but still very powerful. So you can play around with this and see what you can make. But for now, that's it.